Over the updates in this new patch and hotfixes for the poison pet build. Few things have changed. One, you can have more maximum companions. Two, Beastmaster passive tree is completely changed with these new aspect buffs. They're really cool. We're going to go into detail about them. And more than that, I've gotten a lot of questions about the actual numbers of damage being done and people not seeing those numbers versus, the tick damage being kind of hidden behind those numbers. And two, people wanted to see my gear, so we're going to show all of that in this build. We're going to start with the skills. We're going to go through each of the pets and show how their poison is very potent. For starters, we start with the wolves. The wolves, and these builds, you can build these trees any way that you want, but these are going to be completely based on trying to get the most poison damage that you can on a single target. In this case, we're going to go down to the right, and we're going to get the 100% bleed chance and the 100% damage over time, along with 40% increased melee attack speed, and then using the minimum requirement of points into each node to get all the way down here to the +1 maximum companion and pack hunters. This gives you the +1 companion, and this will give you the maximum amount of damage over time. Get bleed. And the reason you want the 4 points in bleed is the Raptor's going to use that to churn it into poison damage down the road. And then obviously the 4 points in attack speed is to deliver as fast as possible. If we were running a high arena push, I wouldn't do the attack speed because you're not usually doing single targets, you're doing a lot of mobs. 4 points into Frozen Fangs is way better. It's a huge area melee attack and it puts poison on everything that it hits. Then we have the Raptor. The Raptor, we have a 200% bleed chance. Then we went over to the right and took the 20% increased melee attack speed. Then we took the 100% global damage over time. 2 points in the poison spit just to unlock the 4 points into infected wounds. This is the very important skill. Whenever your Raptor hits a bleeding enemy with a melee attack, its next melee attack has a poison chance multiplied by the number of bleed stacks on that enemy. In other words, if you have 20 bleed stacks on an enemy and the Raptor hits it, its next attack will deliver 20 poison stacks. So how do you get 20 poison, or how do you get 20 bleed stacks on an enemy? Well, your wolves are each putting a stack on by themselves. The Raptor is doing another 2 stacks every time that he hits, and the bear will also be doing 2 stacks every time he hits. So that's, if everyone attacks just once, that's 8 stacks of bleed on one attack. That means that as soon as the Raptor hits that, his next attack is going to do 8 poison bleeds plus his normal attack. And as you can see, that stacks really well and it picks up really quickly. Then we have the bear. The bear is here instead of the scorpion just for testing purposes, but he's in retaliate mode. We took retaliate down here to the right along with the 100% bleed chance, and then over to the left you take Briar Thorns, and he now retaliates whenever he takes 30 damage. He has a 100% poison chance thanks to Nightshade Bear, and we also took You're Saying Endurance so that he has a cooldown on his Briar Thorn, so he'll actually cast from a distance once. Now that he has a cooldown, he'll run into the fight, get hit a bunch, especially if he uses Taunt skill, and he just shoots out Thorns. They each do 1 stack of bleed and poison each. If you don't want to run him, you can instead run the Scorpion. The Scorpion is very poisonous, especially with its buff up. It got buffed in 2 spots. First spot, its poison chance went up. You can now get a 100% poison chance on hit. And the second is its poison damage is now multiplicative instead of just added poison damage. You can get 150% poison damage. This is insane, especially since over here you can get 100% damage over time with 50% bleed chance. Those 3 together make it very potent. In fact, in this single target test, it would probably be better than the bear because the bear's not actually getting hit and he's not retaliating right now. Which brings us to Entangling Roots. In Entangling Roots, you want the 200% bleed chance for the bear, 200% poison chance for the wolves, the 45% increased attack speed for the wolves, and then the fact that they keep those buffs for 3 seconds after it leaves. If you were running the Scorpion instead of the bear, there would be no point in putting these 5 points here. Put them elsewhere. You'd heal more, do mana efficiency, do whatever you want with those 5 points. And then for the last one, we have Ice Thorns because we use this as a skill so we can proc Aspect of the Viper. So we just have it on instacast so that we can autocast it, put a keybind on it, maximum points in recast because we want it to go on as fast as possible, as much as possible without killing our mana. And with that, we'll get into the passive skill tree. In Primalist, we got 6 points in Gift of the Wilderness, 1 point in Primal Strength, 6 points in Survival of the Pack, 5 points in Primal Medicine, and 1 point in Ancient Call. In Druid, you only need 5 points. That's just to unlock the Entangling Roots. You do need that skill. It is required for this. The other points we have in there is just for healing effectiveness, some health and armor, and that's it. The rest of the points are going straight into Beastmaster, and this is the new tree. You have 4 buffs. You have Aspect of the Shark, which increases your melee damage and melee attack speed. You have Aspect of the Boar, which increases your damage deduction. We have Aspect of the Viper, which increases your minions' chance to poison by 100% and gives them 100% increased damage over time. And then you have the Lynx, which gives 100% increased critical strike chance and 100% increased stun chance for your minions. We're obviously not doing a crit build, so we're not getting into that. The most important things to take off this whole tree is the leech for your minions to give them survivability, 5 points in Envenom to give all your minions 50% more chance to poison on hit, obviously some points into Viper Fangs to be able to proc Aspect of the Viper, the +1 maximum companion, points up in Rattlesnake. That's weird that it has a double name, but gives Aspect of the Viper will last longer and do increased poison effect, and then 10 points into Avian Shelter to give them the 100% glancing blow. Other than that, you can mess around with the tree however you want. You could put into Aspect of the Shark if you wanted. We only have 2 points in Boar, but you could put more and get up to 30% damage reduction instead of only 15. Now, as for the items, we'll start with the idols. Idols we basically went with ones that give minion chance to poison on hit and increased the duration of Aspect of the Viper, making it easier to have 100% uptime on it. This one has minion chance to poison, minion chance to poison. The last one we should have done minion chance to poison for this test, but we just did dodge rating and minion melee damage leech for survivability for him. And then for the actual items, 2 uniques are required. You do have to have Arbiter's Legacy for the +1 maximum companion, and you do have to either have the Fang or the Claw, and that's so that you can summon the maximum number of wolves up to your companion limit without having to get that on the wolf tree. After that, you don't have to have the unique Eteros Path. We do it for the healing effectiveness and the free chance to proc Entangling Roots for heals. And I'll just hover over each item, but basically we have a crap ton of damage over time for minions and minion damage along with life for ourselves. And we have 100% glancing blow, so lots of glancing blow and everything. I'm just going to hover over all these. If you guys want to look at them and read them, you can. The only other 2 items that you can have damage over time for minions on is the helm and the amulet, but obviously we're using uniques in those slots, so you can't do it. So that's everything about the build. Now here's where we ran into some problems. A lot of people were looking at the damage, and you guys are seeing, because all the minions are attacking, they still have their normal attack. So you're going to see small numbers like 100 damage, 200 damage. That's just their physical attacks. But each one of those is putting on like 3 stacks of poison or 2 stacks of bleed, and those are stacking, and so there's going to be one big tick in there of damage over time. And it's pretty hidden behind all their other attacks because they're attacking so fast, but you will see the number ticking up about every quarter second to a half second, and it's going to be a huge number. Them attacking by themselves, it's going to be like 20 to 30,000. Throw in Howl or throw in Roots, and it's going to skyrocket 200, 300,000 damage. I've seen it go as high as 500,000 if you stack it right. But with that being said, we'll zoom in a little bit here so we can see the numbers. But here's their attacks. As you can see, lots of small ones, but there's a big one that jumps out every now and then that you can see, and they move so fast it's hard. But you can see a 25,000 to 30,000 in there a little bit. And then when we throw down Howl and Roots, that's when this will just be game over. We will also get Aspect of the Viper going. You'll see that our Ice Thorns will proc that here as soon as it hits. Maybe. There we go. We procced it. Now you can see their damage is going to go up. I see some 60,000s. Yeah, we got quite a bit. They're actually killing the dummy without even running Roots right now. But we'll go ahead and Howl, put that on. And 140,000, 200,000. Yeah, I saw 250,000 and the dummy's dead. If you slow that video, or slow this video down by frame, you would see the 250,000 damage that's done in there. And if you've ever attacked the training dummy, you would know that you need to do numbers that big in order to kill it. But that's it. If you guys have any questions or if I missed anything, let me know. I'll put it in the description or maybe even make another video for a third time. Thanks, everybody.